2, 1, go live.
Go live. Go live. Go live.
Yeah, I think it might be my cousin Dustin. Because I do hear your voice, and your voice is significant because your voice is the best voice of all of YouTube.
Well, that's not true.
Did you not know this? They had a vote.
No.
Like, they canceled E3 this year specifically for everyone, because you know they have like Judge Week or whatever of E3, where everyone comes together to discuss on whether or not which games get first place, second place, like grand prize, whatever.
Okay.
Well, they canceled E3 this year because all the judges had to come together to vote on whether or not your videos were the best or not. That's why E3 was canceled.
No.
True story.
I'm responsible for this? I did this?
I wouldn't say you're responsible.
Sorry.
There was a whole jury. Like,
I'm sorry.
no.
I ruined it for everyone.
Don't say that.
We didn't get an E3 Direct because of me.
Yes. So everyone listening, we apologize. It is my fault. I apologize for everything being late. There was some personal stuff I had to deal with, and we are here now. But we're gonna have a shorter podcast than usual. Thankfully, Daniel is here, and his fabulous Zelda shirt that he had a bargain price of like 9,873 rupees from Tingle.
That's right.
The price of like at least 4 maps from the Deku Scrubs in Majora's Mask.
It's a good deal.
So I am already 100% not aware of all of the Xenoblade news that happened. But would you like to talk us through that for everyone who is still watching?
Well,
and I'll be back
everybody.
in one moment.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say, first off, Taker610, thank you for the super chat, by the way, just kicking things off. The super chat was actually before we even actually hit go live, so thank you so much. Much appreciated. Always love the support. The Xenoblade news, though, is that a direct happened, and it was 24 minutes of only Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is great for Xenoblade fans, but honestly, it didn't sell me on the game. It did not sell me on the game. I came out of it feeling just more confused about what the game was. I feel like when you get that much information at once, you shouldn't be more confused about it. That's just me. That's just me. But yeah. Lots of people still in the chat here. Jesse is in the basement. Oh, whose basement? That's a good question, Aaron. He just left me behind, guys. I'm all alone. Welcome to the Daniel Show. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, I feel with the Xenoblade Direct that it was almost like information overload. And they showed like these graphs and charts and job systems and all this map stuff, and I'm just like, for someone who like hasn't played the other games, it didn't make me want to jump into the series at all, to be honest. Characters look kind of cool though, if not a little bit cliche. So yeah. It's a serious question. You know, it is a serious question. I don't know where he went. He just said he'd be right back. What if he never comes back? Virum's asking the right question. If he never comes back, then all 106,000 of his subscribers automatically unsub. That's what happens. Then they all go over to my channel instead. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I just got this. Oh, thank you, Shadow to us. Appreciate. I actually don't know where he went though.
Daniel, I just broke free.
Oh, he's back. Uh-oh.
I broke free from your basement.
Oh no, he's back.
I broke free from your basement. What are you gonna do about it?
Who authorized that? When it wasn't me.
The Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh, dang it! Not that guy. Suggesting.
Yeah. So Xenoblade. Right, Xenoblade.
Yeah. What do you think about Xenoblade?
I mean, it is an amazing RPG from the developers at Monolith Soft, who helped on Breath of the Wild and a little bit, maybe. Did they help on Age of 𝗵𝗄𝗄?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
You really not think so?
I really don't. But I might be wrong. I don't think they were on Age of 𝗵𝗄𝗄. They were probably busy making Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Well, you remember
Xenoblade Warriors.
Not that we know anyone who works on those games, but you remember the conversation we had with Age of 𝗵𝗄𝗄 when I found the interview that was talking about how 𝗏𝗏𝗔𝗔 and everyone was like, oh, we just like sided that off and we didn't really care about it. And we were just like, play the game, figure out your own story for Age of 𝗵𝗄𝗄.
Yeah. Yeah.
What for those who aren't aware, what is Age of 𝗵𝗄𝗄?
That's a spin-off. Hyrule Warriors Aging Clams and Tea. That's the one that clams.
Yes. So Breath of the Wild released 2017?
Yeah.
And Breath of the Wild released 2017. Age of 𝗵𝗄𝗄 released 2019.
Was it 2019 or 2020?
Early 2020. It was announced early or late 2019. Because it was like
that can't be right. It was released. It was released in like the October or November or something.
We had JIWANI when it released. And I remember we had Amanda.
November 20th, 2020.
Yeah, we had Amanda replace me because my hand was all.
That's right. No, that was for Sean. That was when we had Sean on.
Yeah, but Amanda replaced me.
Yes.
Oh, yes, it was. We had Sean.
That was for Sean.
Sean Chiplock.
I remember. I was there.
From. You were there. You were the one holding it all together. You and Amanda. And Sean played Deku and Rivali.
Yes.
And Amanda replaced me because she was on the previous podcast. She was the previous you.
But I'm irreplaceable, so there will be no next.
Yes. Anyways, Monolith Soft helped a lot on the original Breath of the Wild, correct? That's the whole reason we're talking about all this, right?
Yes, but I don't think they were involved with Hyrule Warriors.
Correct. Because they did there was a lot of news coverage that we talked about where they were hiring people for the next Zelda game or Breath of the Wild, whatever.
The next Zelda.
After
Jetty.
Yes.
Here's my thing. The Xenoblade Direct happened, and I don't feel like I'm any closer to understanding or feeling inclined to buying Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
But when Nintendo sent me a free games, one of the games I sent you for free, like a week or two before it released, was Xenoblade Warriors.
That was Fire Emblem Warriors, and I think it was only like a few days before. Or maybe it was even only one day before. What was Xenoblade? And I don't think there was a Xenoblade Warrior.
What was the mobile game?
What mobile game? I don't think... What mobile game? What are you thinking of? What am I not aware of that I've been missing out on?
Well, I'm looking it up right now. If my fingers work correctly. Okay.
I will say, people are talking about the combat being complicated, but then it clicks when you're doing it.
No, so I'm thinking our friend Stealth.
Stealth?
He is a big RPG fan.
Yes. I'm not. But
we probably should have had him on this podcast.
Yeah. Hey, Stealth, if you're watching this.
Because it seems
also, people in the chat, sorry, Jesse, people in the chat are saying that there's a lot of echo from me.
Yeah, that's my fault. I will mute him from now on when he is speaking. I apologize.
Right. You know what? I'll just do it.
No, because it comes from when you're speaking.
As I was saying,
Daniel, you can't mute yourself while you're speaking. While I was getting everything ready for the podcast because we're so late, I forgot my headphones. I could probably, if I delayed you for like 2 more seconds, maybe I could come across some headphones magically.
I'll throw some down the stairs.
Okay, thank you for that. But yeah, Xenoblade. There was a bunch of new summoner stuff and gameplay stuff. You watched it. I admit, at the moment, for the rest of my life, I did not watch this Nintendo Direct because while I am a fan of Xenoblade, I just don't sadly have the time to play it. Hate on me all you want. It just fuels me to love Daniel even more.
What?
Exactly. Alright. Daniel, you watched the Xenoblade Direct. Please, explain to us, what is Xenoblade? Why was it first made by Sega as like Xenogears, and then Nintendo purchased it and was like, hey, Sega, you don't have your own console anymore. What if you came to us and worked with us on the Wii and made Xenoblade? So skip that part and just skip to like Xenoblade 3, right?
Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You were sort of right. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but
Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
Yeah.
It's not Xenoblade 3, it's Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah, it's Xenoblade. They're all Xenoblade Chronicles.
Because the Wii U one was Xenoblade Chronicles X.
That was the Wii U one, yeah.
That's what
Xenoblade Chronicles with Shulk on the Wii.
That's what I'm getting confused on then.
3DS.
Right?
And then, I don't know. But, I don't know why you're getting
Yes, Xenoblade. So there was, for the record, Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then like weird DLC, Funky Kong stuff. Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country, which I imagine is like Donkey Kong Country.
That's right.
And then
that's exactly it.
Xenoblade Chronicles Future Constructed and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is the newest one. So yes, Chronicles is the newest one.
Don't forget Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
And for the future, it says, as of 2020, the first production division of Monolith Soft was focusing on strengthening the Xenoblade Chronicles brand for the foreseeable future, leaving no room for a smaller scale game outside of the series. Takahashi said that while a continuation to Xenoblade Chronicles X is possible, that's where I got confused, because I remember this talking about continuation to the Wii U game, is possible. The next game may go in a different direction, as he often gets bored with the last project. In addition to pursuing a new direction for the series director Kojima, not Kojima, that's working on, or that previously worked on Metal Gear Solid, not him,
Kojima,
who is now working with Xbox on a new franchise, whatever it may be. Good luck to him. Series director Kojima expressed an interest in making Xenoblade Chronicles X2. So they are making X2. That's what I had in my mind. But this direct was all about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, correct?
Correct.
And you watched it.
Yes, as established.
Okay, since you are the RPG master, tell us what it was all about.
I'm so not the RPG master. Well, I was saying, but when you stepped away, that I am.
Which I will be doing again for like 2 seconds this time.
Oh no!
It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with like it's the basement.
Sure, that's what it is. That's what it is.
No, for everyone watching, I'm gonna get some headphones so that when Daniel speaks, it doesn't echo. For all of you, that's what I'm gonna be doing. But I'll be able to hear everything that Daniel does say. But I'm just looking for headphones. That way, the audio quality is better for everyone when Daniel speaks. I apologize.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I felt like I left that. I don't know what else there is to say that I didn't already. I felt like I left that Direct more confused about the game and no closer to buying it. I did feel like the combat just didn't look very fun. I don't know. I like my inputs to be in real time. I don't know. I'm also not, people know I'm not that huge into RPGs. Like, there are exceptions. There are some RPGs I really do like, but for the most part, I find them too grindy and repetitive. So, this didn't look like it was gonna be for me. That was my verdict. It just, yeah. I mean, it looked like there was some neat characters. The story did seem like very well written and thought out. I'll give it that. Seemed like they're gonna have a very emotional and in-depth story. But just, yeah, the gameplay just really doesn't seem like it's for me. Yeah, and the thing is, too, they talked about the open world aspect of it and described like fast travel as something that's going to be important to make exploring the world more manageable. And I'm just like of the opinion that exploring the world shouldn't need to be made more manageable if your open world is just fun enough to explore. You know, like that exploration is maybe that's why I like Breath of the Wild so much. But that exploration should be sort of the joy unto itself, not something you need to manage. Like, I just like games where I get lost exploring because I just want to explore, you know. So that's just me. So I don't think this one's gonna be for me. That's the gist. But Jesse, now that you're back, maybe with headphones.
Yes, our good friend Stealth posted a tweet about there being like 20 something or maybe 30 different classes in this game.
But are they good? That's the thing, is like games will tout, they're like, we've got this much of this stuff and all of these, you know, things, and it's like, yeah, but is it fun? Okay.
So it's Monolith Soft.
So?
Which spent half their team working on Breath of the Wild.
Sure, but they didn't do like the gameplay of Breath of the Wild. They mostly worked on the environmental stuff.
Yes,
that's
but
what they did.
Some did
environmental
do gameplay
stuff.
Like 90% did like 400 or 500 did environmental stuff, and then like 80 or 100 did like catching up on other stuff.
Okay, so I'll tell you, like the other week when I was watching Xbox's Summer Game Fest presentation.
How dare you?
Forza,
you watched
right?
Xbox?
Yeah, I did.
We're a Nintendo podcast. How dare you?
Oops, I play other games too. But anyways, in their showcase, they showed Forza, right? And they talked about the graphical fidelity a lot, and they're like, look how amazing this game is, and look how many things we have, look how big the world is. And the whole time I'm thinking like, but is it fun? They're not talking about if the game's actually fun. That's what's important. Is it actually okay? It looks good. Okay, the hot tarmac looks great, and the mud spinning in the wheels and flinging off looks fantastic. But is it fun? And no, and that's the whole thing with Xenoblade here and watching this Direct.
But Daniel, they said it was 48 times the graphical fidelity.
Yeah, but is it fun? Right. With Xenoblade here, it's the same thing. It's like, is it, you know, they're talking about like how much there is to do and how big this world is and how many classes there are and how you can swap classes. And the whole time I kept thinking, but what's fun about this game? Like, they have not communicated to me what is fun about it. I'm being a total downer here, but But
you are being 10% less a downer than I am, because I'm the one ruining the podcast by not.
No, you're fine. You're
having
fine.
headphones.
But the thing is, like, the game very well could be fun. It could be very great. In fact, I could be worrying over nothing, and then what if I played it and I loved it? Right. The problem is that I don't feel like that value, that like what is why my time should go into that game. I don't feel like that was communicated to me. And like, there's so many other games where Nintendo's really good about very easily and quickly communicating like what's going to be fun about a game. You know, they show Breath of the Wild. It's going to be a big open world. It's going to be, you know, there's going to be stuff to discover at every turn. They show Mario Odyssey. They show the capture mechanics. They show Mario is always super good and fluid to control. Instantly, they communicate what's fun about that game, right? Even something like Wii Sports, even Switch Sports, which actually seems lackluster, but they're able to very quickly communicate what would be fun about that game, right? I have not felt like they've done that with Xenoblade here. They've just told me, they just gave me 24 minutes of information about the game, but they didn't show me what's appealing about it. Do you know what I mean? So
I did. It's like we have this huge open world. We have all these customizations. We have these character classes. We have these different versions of combat systems that you can do. Like if you want to focus more on close combat or magic or whatever. Did you play Chronicles 2?
I haven't played any of the games.
How dare you? How dare you?
You shouldn't have to have in order to see the appeal of a new game coming out. I think there needs to be like as little a barrier to entry when you're marketing something, you know?
So, okay. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay. Keep that in mind.
I will. It's in my mind.
We are in LA.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, no. What? We are right now?
Yes.
How did I get here?
We jumped through a time portal, 2019. No. Yeah, 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
LA.
That was the last time we were there, yeah.
We're at that weird Airbnb. We're sharing the same thing. 𝗵𝗲 𝗵𝗲 from Zelda Universe is stalking us.
Right. The illegal Airbnbs.
Yes. So 𝗵𝗲 is stalking us over here on the right side.
Okay, scary.
We have Holly and Cliff and Gibbs and Maya and her boyfriend at the time. Perhaps still dating him. I don't know. They're over here.
So scary.
And we all combine, and we're watching E3 the day after, right? And then like the night before, we Greg, very nice chap, Greg. He was like, "Oh my god, it's you guys! Game over, Jesse." Blah blah blah.
I think that might have been a few nights before. We were there for like a week before.
And
or something like that. It was good.
He was doing the E3 presentation for EA.
Right.
So, to put that in perspective for everyone that's watching, but he was really nice. Everyone came over the night before. We were all doing this thing, and then there was like the Banjo-Kazooie was last, correct? For Smash Bros.
So for Nintendo's big direct, yeah, Banjo was the end of the direct, but then Breath of the Wild 2 was the big like, oh, one more thing after the end. You know what I mean? So
I do know what you
Breath
mean.
of the Wild 2 announcement.
And before that, it was the Breath of the Wild 2 thing. Where he was walking through the cave. Before the Banjo thing, it was the Breath of the Wild 2 Zelda thing?
Other way around. Banjo and then Breath of the Wild 2. So it ended on Banjo, and we were all like, oh my gosh, sure? That was great. That was a great way to end the direct. And then they were like, one more thing, and then it was the Breath of the Wild 2 reaction. Or not reaction, sorry.
But are you sure?
We did react. I am 104% positive That is the order of events.
I am 99% certain that you are correct, because I would never disagree with you, or else I won't be fed, because I'm in Daniel's basement. But 1% of me, which please don't throw anything at me. I love you.
I will throw everything at you. No, go on. I have our reaction stream on my channel here.
Do you have the reaction of you smacking me? Because that is the thing.
You slapped me.
For money?
Yeah, for money. Yeah, it was Banjo first, and then Breath of the Wild, and then they had Treehouse where they played Pokemon. But as far as the Direct goes, yeah, they ended it on Banjo, and then Breath of the Wild sequel was the one last thing. And also, I jumped screaming. True story.
And I just stayed there like a zombie. I was just like...
You raised both arms. Victory.
Both arms.
Victory. Yeah, it was both arms.
That's how you know I was surprised. I was a zombie raising both of my arms while everyone else was like jumping up and screaming. I was just like, yes.
There was hype. There was hype in the air.
That was real.
Can you feel the hype tonight?
Excitism? Exhilarating? I don't, what's the word I'm looking for?
I think all of those were correct.
Yes. I actually messaged... Sorry, I was on mute. I actually messaged our good friend 𝗏𝗏𝗃 about coming on in the next couple of weeks. Who is the king of hype, as about coming on in the next couple of weeks. Who is the king of hype, as we all know.
Yeah, hype man, king. That's what 𝗏𝗏𝗃 stands for.
Yes, exactly. Hype
man, comma, king.
Oh, really?
Because he's the king. Hype. Yeah, that's what it is.
I always suspect, because we have no idea what his real name is. So I always suspected it was Hype Media King.
Oh.
Hype Media.
That's actually his legal name on his birth certificate. His parents knew they had the power of foresight, and they named him Hype Man.
That makes sense.
That's the truth.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, the point I was getting to is you played Breath of the Wild 1, correct?
I've never played it.
Okay, well it won Game of the Year.
Yes, I have.
It won Game of the Year a few It won Game of the Year a few years ago. We had like 90% of the people who worked on the game on our podcast, the one you are currently on.
That might be a bit of a hyperbole, but yeah.
90% of the voice actors? Is that closer to the truth?
More like 70%, I would say, of the voice actors. We had Patricia, Joe, and Sean and Andy. And
Sean counts for 2 though.
Well, he's still one voice actor.
But he counts for like the Deku Tree and the bird people.
We were supposed to have Amelia Gotham, but then
we don't talk about that.
There. I'm just saying it didn't work out.
That's
all I'm saying.
We don't talk about that.
I know.
That was the one time people got upset.
I'm upset.
Don't say that.
I wanted to do that.
Joe
podcast.
Joe watches the podcast. I would not say that.
I love Joe. You know I love Joe.
Anyways, so
a turtle.
Breath of the Wild.
Wait. No, just speaking of Joe for a second. Sorry to derail this, but Joe put out this tweet on his Twitter, and all it said was like voice actors.
Are you going to get us in trouble?
Are not. No, I'm not. He tweeted this. He said voice actors are.
This is something he tweeted.
That's something he tweeted
publicly.
So I just replied. I said, "You mean to tell me that you're neither a turtle or a rock man?" He's not. So that was that burst my bubble. That changed my whole perspective.
Can I tell you something Joe. He told me in private?
Did he tell you that he is a turtle and or a Rockman?
Worse.
Oh no.
It's fair. It's
Yunobo's a Pokemon?
the opposite.
That Yunobo's not a Pokemon.
So I was watching one of my good friends, Sophie, stream Breath of the Wild. She's making her way up Death Mountain. And you know how you have to, like, in Pokemon, you have to, like, use a Pokemon to do, like, cut or swim or whatever? Well, in Breath of the Wild, you basically use Yunobo to, like, use Cannonball.
Yep.
I was like...
I actually played that part today for a video, because I was recording footage for a video. So I just played through that.
Yeah, so I was
Go
like...
on.
I don't know if I tagged him or not, but I was like, it was basically a Pokemon at this point, because you're using him for, like, just to get to the next level, which honestly, like,
yeah, exactly what you just said. 𝗙cie.exe has stopped responding. 𝗙cie. What is the hand?
you continue, and then I'll start after. There's yelling.
I finished what I was saying, but yeah, I just thought it was funny. He's neither turtle nor Rockman. That's all. It was heartbreaking to hear, frankly.
Yeah, so he's not a Pokemon. So do you think he's a Digimon?
No, he's Breath of the Wild's Hyrule is definitely not the digital world. So not a Digimon.
Yeah. So what is again, so the Breath of the Wild stuff with the cave stuff that we've seen. If you didn't know anything about Breath of the Wild, because you're going into the Xenoblade stuff without knowing too much of the previous games. So if that was going on, what would you think, like, what do you make from it? Like, what would you make from the Breath of the Wild if...
Well, I don't feel like you have to know the previous game to, like, see that trailer and be like, whoa, something spooky there, These people are exploring a cave, and then that's an evil zombie man, Like, I don't know, like, there's... I feel like Zelda's really good about that, even there were cases where they have direct sequels. Like, you could still play any of the games, and they bring you enough up to speed. You'll get more out of it knowing, but, like, it's same with, like, okay, a more recent example, Metroid Dread. What is Metroid? Story is like, well, you see, it's a jelly thing.
I love
Metroid
jelly.
Dread's story is so closely intertwined with the stories of, like, all of the games leading up to that, like the previous 4 mainline Metroid games, right? Like, they all or most of the loose ends kind of get tied up in Dread, but you're still able to play Dread without having played those games. In fact, a lot of people, that was their first Metroid game, and that is true. They didn't understand what was going on because they hadn't played these other games. So I feel like the barrier to entry thing, I feel like people who haven't played any of the Xenoblade games I don't think any... I'm painting with a broad brush here, but I don't think anybody... Okay.
Remember, we are mentioning this because we got off topic from Breath of the Wild to Breath of the Wild 2's trailer.
Right.
Which was off topic from Xenoblade to Xenoblade Chronicles 3 trailer. So this is a comparison to a comparison to a comparison.
Correct. But yeah, I don't think anybody who hasn't played a Xenoblade game like myself would watch that direct and be like, wow, I'm so hyped, I'm gonna get that game. That's just my feeling. Again, I'm
right.
Being a negative Nancy, but I don't know. I just feel like if you know Xenoblade, that direct was probably like a godsend, and that direct was probably like the most hype thing. And you're like, oh my gosh, this game looks so good. Look at all this stuff that's in it. But I don't feel like it properly communicated what's appealing enough about the series to bring in new players. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Because I'm a potential new player and I don't feel the pull. And the thing is, I know that people who love Xenoblade really love Xenoblade.
Right. Like stealth.
And then like stealth, yeah, for sure. And just people online I've seen the chatter, people who like Xenoblade, you either like seem to really love it, or you just don't care about it at all or don't know about it. Those are like the only ones. The only options. That's what it seems like. So yeah. I don't know. When from what you know about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, for what you've seen, even though you didn't watch the whole direct, like, where do you feel on that? I want to know your thoughts too, Jesse. I've just been complaining for 40 minutes. So please tell me something. Jesse, you might be muted.
Yes, I would like to see how it translates to what we know. Monolith Soft creating their own team for Breath of the Wild, and then them coming off of Breath of the Wild to work on Monolith Soft's Xenoblade, and then what that compares to Breath of the Wild 2 with the new Xenoblade and how that might compare. So just like, what can we see from this trailer that might relate to the new Zelda game? Whereas previously we've seen the previous Xenoblade game and Breath of the Wild, they worked on the overworld. And we've seen in the new Breath of the Wild, the overworld was very, very, very expansive and robust, and they had a lot of details going on that weren't intuitive to previous Zelda games. So I'm just excited to see how that translates with what we see from the new Xenoblade games to the new Zelda game.
I'll say though that some of the environmental stuff that they did show in that direct looked really nice. Like, I think a lot of the environments looked pretty good. Some of it kind of looked ugly, but a lot of it looked really nice. So they got that going for them. And I think that the work they did on Zelda was really good.
Do you know what else they have going for them?
Environmental stuff they did. It all looks good, but I don't know.
Do you know what else they have going for them? You.
Me? No, I'm not associated. I am not associated with them. So they do not. They do not have that going for me.
Okay,
for them. They don't have me going for them.
I don't exactly know what the people from the chat are saying, but can you think of anything that you did see from the Xenoblade trailer that you would like to see incorporated into Breath of the Wild 2?
No.
Did you
not really.
Just try. For me.
Try. No. Well, all of the voice acting seemed very extensive, and this is a lot of people didn't like the English dubs or voice acting for Breath of the Wild. I actually really liked it. I also really liked that they took it a step farther and there was a lot more voice acting in Age of Calamity. The rest of the game people can debate hotly, but I thought the cutscenes and the scripts and the voice acting was really well done. So this game also seems to have a pretty heavy focus on its characters, and there's a lot of voice acting to go with it. But I mean, it also, a lot of it does seem very tropey, anime, over the top kind of melodramatic characters. But that's fine. I know there is a market for that. Not necessarily, but I think that the level of voice acting the quality of the voice acting from what I saw in that would be cool to see brought over. But the thing is, like, that's probably not even something that's, well, first of all, that's not unique to Xenoblade at all. It's like so many games. It's just the only thing I can think of, because honestly the gameplay styles look so different that I just don't think it would translate. There's nothing in there that I was like, I want that for Zelda, because it seems like the focus of those games are like really different. So it's not like Xenoblade invented voice acting. So.
If you want to,
but also on the flip side, you're still muted.
Yes.
I've been playing like a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn, which I'm like really late to, but I've had the game for a while. I started a new save recently, and I've been playing through that. And I think like, and there are some cases where like your player character in that, Aloy, she kind of talks too much. Like I picked up like a plant, and then she's like, all right, I'll save that for later. And I'm like, you didn't need to announce that. Like, you know, like it's just like everything you do. You know, I ran down a hill and she's like, going down fast. I'm like, Aloy, it's fine. You don't need to announce everything. And I find that's a lot of games do that. Like Spider-Man and Miles Morales, both the player characters just like talked so much. And I'm like, who are you talking to? So,
right. And yeah. I'm sure everyone else.
You're still muted, Jesse.
I'm muted.
You're still muted. I think you're muted on Discord. Actually.
Oh yeah,
not your mic.
It was Discord. I apologize. I've actually been looking for, because it's been a slow week for news from Nintendo. So I've actually been trying my best to look for more news to talk about. And honestly, there as everyone who's been following along, there just isn't that much news to follow along with. So what what's been going on with have you been playing any new games lately? What's been going on?
Actually, I not a new game per se, but I've been replaying Resident Evil 4 because the sequel was announced, or not the sequel, sorry, the remake was announced, and I kind of just wanted to like go back and replay the original and see how it holds up. And it's a lot of fun, actually. It's I think holds up pretty well. It's visually pretty dated, but the gameplay is.
Can I let you know there was an amazing game announced recently called I don't know if you know this, but it's like a sequel of sorts to Shovel Knight.
Are you talking about Mina the Hollower, or are you talking about Shovel Knight Dig?
Neither.
Then what are you talking about?
What was announced? Like,
wait, are you talking about Silk Song?
Yes.
To Hollow Knight, not Shovel Knight.
Oh, maybe that's why they did not reply to me.
Oh no, maybe. Actually, though, since they showed that Silk Song trailer, I have been itching to replay Hollow Knight, and I've been like fighting that itch because I'm already juggling a bunch of games like Horizon and Resident Evil 4 and Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword and Shovel Knight King of Cards. So those are all the games I'm juggling right now. Admittedly, 2 of those are for streams that I'm streaming, but the other ones I'm just like juggling for, well, Breath of the Wild I'm replaying to record footage for videos, and the other 2 I'm just playing on my spare time. But that's like a lot of games already, so I'm like, I can't throw Hollow Knight into the mix there too. Like that's gonna be too much. That's it.
Okay, so I would personally imagine if you the company announced Hollow Knight 2, you would just be like, yes, release it. I'll play it immediately. And then you would delay Breath of the Wild 2 to play.
Well,
not that not that that's the title of Breath of the Wild 2, but you would delay Breath of the Wild 2 to play Hollow Knight 2.
No. Like, Zelda's still my favorite. I wouldn't...
I wouldn't like push.
You're making my chair
when that
squeak.
game comes out, it will push every other game.
Okay, but explain yourself. You're making my square cheek.
What?
You're making my chair squeak. Like, listen,
square cheek. And I'm wondering what's wrong with your buttocks.
Well,
That's not me.
it's very undeveloped.
I missed the part where that was my problem.
Well, that was when I was in middle school.
Oh.
And they were like, "You're in PE class," and I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna wear blue jeans." And they were like, "Well, then you can't participate."
But Xenoblade, I think the best thing they can do to like salvage that, maybe not salvage, that's a hard word. If they actually want to like bring in new people after that direct, I think they need, and I say this because people were talking about it a little bit in the chat here, a playable demo, just a short playable demo, because I think like that is the best way to sell me on a game. I'll try demos. I try demos out all the time. And if it's for me, like that's okay. Here's a true story. Once upon a time, I didn't care about Pikmin.
Stop. Your opinion does not matter here.
Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry.
Okay, this is going back to Kojima.
But not Hideo Kojima, the other Kojima.
No, Hideo Kojima.
Oh, okay.
Did you see my pinky?
Yeah.
This means it's serious.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I know.
Kojima. In the 2016-17 E3, released a demo for PT.
I think it was earlier than that. I think it was way earlier than that.
It was like the year the PlayStation 4 came out. I should know. I was working at GameStop. Like
14.
I was working at GameStop the year it came out, so I should know. Because like they made me work excessive hours that were not probably legal.
I see. Yeah, the PT demo, I googled it. It was 2014. It was the summer of 2014. So definitely way earlier than what you said.
I believe you.
I believe Google.
So the quote conspiracy is that he was working on Metal Gear Solid 5, which he had been fired from before the game completed.
Correct.
And it was an early launch game for PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Which I was working at GameStop at the time, and I bought both because I was dumb. So, I think after that, like after the release, they had the E3, and for PlayStation side, they had the PT demo. And he showed it off, and the conspiracy is he did not tell PlayStation or Sony or Konami about it. Like he just did it on his own, without anyone knowing.
Okay.
And then after that, he, because of all of the support that he got from it, he ended up being able to do his own thing from it. And Konami, which he was working for previously with Metal Gear Solid, kind of copied that and made not Metal Gear, Silent Hill's Bio. What was it? We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Bio what? Silent Hill's Bio.
I don't know. Did we talk about Silent Hill recently? I don't even remember talking about Silent Hill.
I think we did because of like the whole VR thing.
I don't know. I do not know.
Okay,
Unless it was.
I don't know. Anyways, go on. Go on.
Yeah, so we talked about that, and we talked about some other things, and it ended up being like he had a stronger partnership with PlayStation. Because of the Metal Gear franchise. So he ended up partnering with them for what was it?
Was it Death Stranding?
Yes. And
Yeah.
now he is partnering with Microsoft, which for some stupid reason people are complaining about.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't know either. They're like, oh, he partnered with PlayStation, and they gave him all this support to make Death Stranding, and now he's partnering with Microsoft to make this other game. And I was like, well, he's independent. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Like you go with who?
He's basically an indie developer at this point.
Yeah, like you would go with who supports you the most. And honestly, like almost all PlayStation games, like God of War, what was it? What was the Breath of the Wild game? The Breath of the Wild game. It released 1 week before.
Are you talking Horizon?
Yes, Horizon. It released one week. Like, so you all can look this up. It released 1 week before Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm. And then the second one, Forbidden West, released like a week before Elden Ring. It's just the Horizon's great, but it's just the bad launch timing. The game of bad launch timing.
I don't know about the second part, but I do know the first part. It released 1 week before Breath of the Wild, and IGN and GameStop and all of the other places were comparing it to Breath of the Wild. And that was like all the times you've heard me be like, well, I loved this game and I loved Breath of the Wild, but this game, like whenever I came across a thing that I had to climb across and it wouldn't let me, that was because like I had gotten so used to Breath of the Wild where it would let you climb almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
Horizon didn't. So with Horizon, which was made by Guerrilla Games from Sony, I understand why Microsoft would want to make a deal with them. And I understand why people would be upset about that. Because there are people who are like diehard, I am 100% Microsoft, I am 100% Sony, I am 100% Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I
don't. It's like which billion-dollar company do I want to defend the grave? And, like,
exactly. It's like I'm only making like $20,000-$30,000 a month, but at the same time, per month. But I'm still willing to give thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I make to one of these three companies.
Yeah, it's whack. Console wars are dumb.
Yeah,
I don't know. For me, like I've always said, my loyalty does not lie with a particular console. I just want to play the games that I want to play. Well, often those games are on Nintendo platforms, but not always, and that's why I play games on other consoles too, because I don't
the hardware, the console is just a means to an end. The end is the game.
Have you ever heard of the
means-
Citra emulator?
Yeah, I have Citra. I've streamed games on Citra as well.
Okay, so the fans on Citra emulator are doing much better of a job than Nintendo, if you're listening, Nintendo, are doing.
No, wait, don't send them after Citra. Don't send them. Don't sick the ninjas on Citra. We want Citra to continue.
I'm pretty sure
Citra's just the emulator.
if they go after anything, they're after the Unreal Engine 5 stuff.
They won't touch Citra because they
Yeah. They won't touch Citra because it's like 2017 technology.
It's earlier than that. But I was just thinking more along the lines that they're not distributing ROMs or anything. It's just the emulator.
Right.
So they have no legal grounds.
Have you seen the, like, oh, this is what, what's the water world of Majora's Mask?
Are you talking about Great Bay?
Yeah, like on the water world, they're like, this is Great Bay in Unreal Engine 5. Or this is Snowhead Temple in Unreal Engine 5. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, that's just a generic. Like, that's just a generic. I don't want you to say anything, Daniel.
Okay, I will never say anything.
Exactly. This is me, Jesse. Game over, Jesse. Hello. How are you doing? My pelvis just popped. Yeah. So when you watch these things that are like recently, they have been popping up. You've seen them, Daniel, correct? Used to they would be like, this is Unreal Engine 3 Ocarina of Time, Unreal Engine 4 Ocarina of Time. Now it's like, this is Unreal Engine 4 Ocarina of Time, this is Unreal Engine 5 Ocarina of Time. This is not any of those. Like, when you download Unreal Engine 4, 3, or 5, it does not matter. It does. It does matter if you download which. But when you download them, the character models you see are like 75% from Hyrule Warriors. Daniel's not saying yes, I'm saying yes. They're 75% from Hyrule Warriors. There are some models that you see in these that are hand created from the developers. There are some of them, yes. But most of them are from the same people. So it's like, it's literally the same models that you would get if you played Hyrule Warriors from like Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition from the Switch. Like, that's the most updated. Yeah, it's those same model characters, and they just like literally copy paste them into a basic Unreal Engine 5 demo and then create everything around them. And when I say create everything around them, I don't mean they're like real. I need grass textures.
Jesse, I think your mic, something happened. Sorry, you told me not to speak, but I think your mic disconnected. But while he fixes that, I'll say that
the engine does not affect like the art style or the level of detail, because you can have like games with hugely different art styles that use the same
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hello. Did you hear the hello?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, exactly as Daniel was talking. There was actually a few developers I seen from, I don't want to say the production company, like whether it was Ubisoft or EA or whoever, but they were actually upset with this because they're like, they were actually getting, I wouldn't say infuriated, but they were getting annoyed, a bit annoyed. Because they're like, all they're doing is like copying these character models from a 10-year-old game. Would you say Hyrule Warriors is 10-year-old by this time? You're Googling it. Daniel will let us know. Anyways, they were saying like...
it is 8 years old. Also 2014. Same as PT. What a year.
Was PT 2014?
Yeah, they were both 2014.
2014 was named PT for Playable Tech Demo. PT, Playable Tech Demo. It is still one of my favorite games of all time.
That's a demo.
So, Konami?
Too spoopy for me.
Really? Konami, whatever nonsense you have going on with Kojima, forgive him. Kojima, forgive Konami. Pay Kojima the $10 million that you probably owe him. That we all know that you owe him.
Better yet, better idea. Pay us $10 million.
And then we'll make that 3DS Tingle game.
Yeah, we'll split it.
We'll split it between all of us.
Pay off my debts.
We'll make that 3DS Tingle game. Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
You remember it? That never happened?
It never happened.
The Zelda game that will never happen?
It will never.
Like, it's a probability that Ura Zelda may happen sometime. Your headphone just like dangled down.
Yeah, I was just fidgeting with it. That's all.
I'm doing this. No, you don't have to apologize. I'm doing this. It's like all day today I was craving a taco.
Nice. How was your taco?
I never got one.
Is it good?
I had one bite of a hamburger.
Oh no.
But it was like a soy hamburger with like tomatoes and onions and everything. So it was...
Was it good?
I'm trying to follow your footsteps.
I don't do soy burgers. I like Beyond Burgers. Soy and dairy free and
I live in Redneck County.
plant-based.
Anyways,
Oh no.
For everyone listening, PT, correct?
PT. Label. Post-traumatic. I'm gonna have PTSD after playing PT.
You may really have it, yes.
It's too scary for me, so I will not.
Did you ever
This is
actually
fun.
play it?
This feels cozy.
No, just
I never played it because it was
move
too
your
scary.
microphone back like 1 foot. Did you ever actually play PT?
No, because it was too scary. It was too scary. I couldn't do it. So no, I never played it.
Especially when you get in the bathroom and there's like the baby in the sink. It is too scary.
Too scary, man. Too scary.
Anyways, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Daniel. Xenoblade.
It all comes back to Xenoblade.
It really doesn't. Maybe, do you, what's that? Okay, I was reading the chat for a minute, and the answer to everyone's question is no. I'm not feeling good. Like, no.
Emotionally, physically.
You would know, Daniel. On a better day, you would know. What? Do you remember anything from that the Reginator said? That was like behind the scenes stuff for Nintendo? While I may look up a few other stuff that he may have said.
I haven't read his book.
I mean, I don't expect anyone to read his book. I just expect them to read blurbs from his book.
Expect everyone to read his book.
I mean, everyone should read his book, yes.
Yes, read his book. Yeah, I'll say that if it means Reggie comes on the podcast.
Where did you get that shirt from?
This one that I'm wearing? I actually don't know my wife.
All the shirts you're wearing.
So just the one. I'm only wearing one right now. No, I actually don't know where it's from. Because my wife got it for me. Because she's nice. Cool. I couldn't make out any of that. Whatever you were trying to show me.
It's for the best.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you.
I truly hope so. Honestly, if you're watching, it was my little brother. I'm sorry for hanging up on you. We are still doing the podcast, which you should know because you watch it every week. Shame on you.
Does it? Why is it shame?
Because he's clearly watching and he calls during the podcast. Do you remember when I was doing it from your dungeon and there would be vibration noises?
Yes.
That would be my little brother calling to save me from your basement.
Oh. Well, that's too bad.
I mean, sometimes.
Because there is no saving you.
No, there's just would you like a window? Here's another boot. Slam in the face. Like slam ding dong.
What now?
Exactly.
Oh no.
Bree knows if she's still in the chat. I imagine she gave up long ago. She's like, I can't rescue Jesse from this.
I don't think she's in the chat anymore. She was earlier for sure, but
yeah.
Okay.
She's having, as you can imagine, any nurse having a rough time.
I imagine so.
Can we give give a one in the chat, just a one, to give a thank you to Bree. Just type one, press enter, give a thank you. Yes.
But why?
Because she deserves it.
Okay, but why one specifically?
Because it's the first number.
Fair enough.
I would go into a bit of quantum physics for you, but that would make this podcast go on a lot longer. We're gonna skip. I had a thing planned, but stuff happened, so we're gonna skip the. We're still gonna have the Zelda mailbag, but we're gonna skip the.
The Reggie topic that you brought up?
Yes, but also, oh, there she is.
Oh yeah, she's just cleaning. I'm sorry, that's no fun.
Clearing dashboards. That's the job of a Canadian nurse. Clearing dashboards. No,
Okay.
So we were gonna do the Reggie topic. I feel that's more. It would be more akin or more favorable to an actual video as opposed to just a discussion topic. And
yeah.
We were also going to do not a Zelda mailbag, which we will do after this, but a Triforce trivia.
Oh, we are doing one. Trivia's back.
Are we?
Are we? Someone was asking about it earlier, if we were doing trivia this week, so...
I mean, we can do one, but it'll be up to the viewers as opposed to the website. I filled out like half of it, and then as I spoke to you, things happened beforehand that didn't let me finish it. But off the top of my head, I can go with easy questions. Finger guns towards you, Daniel, because I know you're I know you're on top of all of this. And despite what everyone thinks, like, yes, Daniel is a part of this podcast. Yes, he is a host. Yes, he is a co-host. Yes, he is a co-creator. Daniel has not ever seen and or been part of the creation of a Triforce Trivia.
I don't know if anyone is accusing us of foul play with our
Oh no,
trivia
I have seen the emails. You have not. I have seen the emails.
You get email. Who emails anything anymore? Do people email you and they're like, "You cheated that trivia on your own show"? Like, okay, really? Okay. Is that?
There has been a few of those, but like 90% of them are like, "Oh, let me tell you about this cool thing that happens in Breath of the Wild 2."
And what is the cool thing that happens?
Well, that's the problem. Most of them is wrong, and like the 10% that I'm like, maybe that sounds interesting, I'll email to you or Rick or other people we know or don't know. Not that we know anyone. And I'll be like, what's up with this? And they'll be like, well, that's clearly you're stupid for even thinking that. Which is what you say. And
No.
that is how we got a few things correct last year.
I want to tell you a funny story, Jesse.
Yes.
Speaking of getting predictions correct.
Is it telling me I'm stupid?
No, the opposite. So I was, I know I've referenced this many times for the show, but I listened to too many podcasts.
Okay, I'll listen to you, but you hold on, like, draw out your story a little bit longer than you were expecting to.
Oh, this was not going to be a long story at all, but I'll try. I'm doing it now, in fact. I'm trying now, as you can see by me repeating and restructuring my sentence several times. So I'll try. I am currently trying to draw this out longer than I meant to, because it wasn't meant to be long. See, it's working. So, no, so I, by the way, I just was like, I have the stream open here. Does the audio sound weird to anyone else? Does it sound like tinny or choppy or?
No, it does not.
It does not. Okay, then maybe it's just my speakers or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I was listening to this podcast, which I've referenced in the past, called the Kid and Krista podcast.
Yes, I know that. They may have perhaps once upon a time worked at Nintendo.
They did. So they were basically like the heads of PR and marketing there. They wrote the script. That's what they would say. they Nintendo Minute was their side project. Their day job was doing marketing and PR.
But what about Golan?
And Golan that's a whole other thing. But
have they spoken about Golan?
Or they actually haven't brought it up at all. But
smart.
We're talking about these are the people that were writing scripts for Nintendo.
This is directly from Nintendo, not third parties they hired to do their third party stuff. Nintendo of America, first and foremost.
Yes. Anyways, on the Kit and Krista podcast, this
They
week
mentioned
they were talking
how much
about,
they loved eating toast and banana spread with you.
Hear me out. They legit said that when they were talking about Nintendo Direct dates and how
Is this stuff you're allowed to talk
when they
about?
worked at Nintendo, they said when they worked at Nintendo,
Stop. Are you allowed to talk about this stuff?
they put it on their YouTube channel. Why wouldn't I be allowed to talk about it? This is public. You can go onto their YouTube channel and listen to this and watch this. So whether they're allowed to talk about it or not, that's a different question. But I can talk about it. It's just something I saw in a YouTube video. But they said that when they worked at Nintendo...
That's the best excuse I've ever heard. It's something I've seen in a YouTube video. Continue.
When they worked there and they were planning out direct dates and stuff, they would monitor like different YouTube channels and creators and stuff like that. And they said that they would start getting annoyed at how accurately people's certain, they didn't say who, but certain YouTube channels were able to predict Nintendo Direct dates and things like that simply by analyzing trends. They never said who.
No,
but the thing
was
is, what they said, what they said sounded like us.
No. It was. What was the one we criticized last week?
Inverse?
Switch Force?
That's not what they were talking about. Oh, Switch Force. They definitely weren't talking about Switch Force. But they did say that, like, when during their time there, like, they would watch all these YouTube channels, and they would have their roadmap, their plans, for like directs and stuff like that.
Pause.
I can't even finish the sentence.
I know, but
what?
Okay, let me think for like 2 seconds.
I'm not saying it was us they were talking about, but it sounded
no.
like what we've done
Definitely was not us. But
you stopped me mid-sentence for this? Jesse?
Okay, so do you...
Say it! What were you going to say? Go on.
Do you remember the email that we blocked out? Well, I blocked out, and I sent to you an RMFH?
Yes.
Do you remember how possibly, maybe, perhaps accurate that was?
It was accurate. It was fully an event.
And
that's...
Do you think that maybe, perhaps, because in that email they mentioned that they may or may have not said something akin to the lines of, we watched this to joke around and just laugh at all of you guys, and then they were like, oh, this is actually what is happening. And then they ended up I wouldn't say congratulating us, but like
I don't know if it was related to this.
I don't...
This particular thing. Because they were more talking about Nintendo Directs, specifically.
Oh, yeah, that's the one girl. Okay, should we just skip all this?
Anyways, this was supposed to be a funny story.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just like...
Funny story.
Yeah, funny story.
The point was, they said during their time at Nintendo that their PR teams and their marketing teams would have these plans for directs and stuff. And they would watch different YouTube personalities and channels and get annoyed at the accuracy that fans were able to predict directs. Like
when did they say this?
They said this on their podcast that went live today.
Today?
Today. They had a podcast on their channel today. They said that basically they would get annoyed because they're like, these people are able to like just look at all like the trends in previous years and analyze when the directs have been in the past and predict when the next one's going to be with accuracy.
So
And then they said
you and I.
sometimes they would specifically change plans just to spite people predicting stuff, basically. And that's what they think. That's why they think Nintendo did not have a Direct in the last 2 weeks. They think it's exactly that reason, because everybody's been trying to predict a Direct for this month, and,
But
and
Daniel-
Nintendo's being like, no.
Can I tell you some true insider information?
If you're allowed to tell me it, then sure. But that was the whole story, Jesse. It was supposed to make you laugh.
No. I'm laughing. I was just gonna say that I don't even remember her name.
Whose name?
Her, Samus. 42.
Samus Hunter
Yeah, her.
on Twitter. Yeah.
Samus Hunter said that like there was gonna be something in the early or middle of the month, and then
She said
like
June 15th.
yeah, and then something was someone else, not her, someone else announced something on the 29th or 30th or whatever.
Alana Pierce said the 29th.
Yes,
and then Samus Hunter jumped on it and said,
No, okay,
yes,
okay,
you
no,
were
stop.
29th all along.
No. I 100% believe Alana Pierce. Like,
Fair.
I was friends with her way back in like the Zelda universe days. So this is nothing against her. So just like
Of course.
erase
I never
that.
said it was. I said Samus Hunter jumped on it and was like being all a know-it-all.
Erase
Nothing
any,
against the lab.
erase any of that from anything.
There's nothing to erase. I didn't say anything bad about Alana.
I know, but she's still cool.
Neither of us did. Yeah, she's cool. Sure.
Okay,
But-
so
Go on.
Samus Hunter said something for like early to mid this month for the Nintendo Direct. And then all of a sudden she was like, oh, I told you this was going to happen. But she was quote tweeting something from something that said it was going to happen at the end of the month.
Yes.
Like the 29th?
Yes. That's what I just said, man.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I'm just going through the history of this month. You know, like, June's a pretty hectic month.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then. So, my computer is hissing at me.
Ooh, that's not a good sign.
Oh, it's
Sometimes when I'm streaming, I hear the fan in my computer just like blasting.
yeah. You know,
It's-
Bree was like, cause she did the second quest, or not second quest. What was the Breath of the Wild thing, like the DLC stuff?
Oh, Second Wind.
Yeah, Second Wind. She did the whole Second Wind thing, and like I talked to her through all of it, and she was like, "My computer sounds like a rocket ship." And I'm
I
like,
will say Second Wind is like, I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of, like some streams of it and stuff, and it's like very impressive. Like, especially not just for a fan project, but especially for a fan project, it's really impressive. Putting that out there.
okay,
Putting that up. Yeah. Anyways.
I was just like a weird. I look like a weird emo guy.
Oh no.
No, it's okay.
It's like it's gonna.
Oh,
we're gonna go back to
you gonna do
2007, Daniel.
2007,
We're gonna go back
Daniel?
to.
Are you gonna do the weird emo guy face? Oh my gosh, yes.
We're back. No, it's not working. with
Tell
our product.
your waifu I said thank you.
For what?
for choosing you.
Oh.
Like, she had 3 Pokeballs to choose from, and she chose you.
Hey, I'm not Yunobo. I'm not a Pokemon.
Yunobo is not a Pokemon.
Nobody is.
I don't think he is.
He's going to be exclusive to the Scarlet version.
I don't think that's true. Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome to the Hylian Gamescast, where we don't know what the hell we're talking about. We're one overaged man is going bald with this hair thing, and the other is very nice with a very full head of hair.
But which one's which, you'll never know.
I think they will know.
I don't think they will. They'll never know.
Thank you, Daniel. So, anyways, should we just get to questions?
Yeah, we should. Let's have half an hour, probably.
Would you?
Yeah, let's do that.
While we take questions, would you like to go to the last video I did?
Oh, sure. Is that where the questions are at?
The last video that was not live.
Okay, the last non-live video. The Breath of the Wild 2 leak reveals 2 groundbreaking first.
Yeah, the joke video I did when I had too much wine.
This is a great video. So you want to pull questions from here? The first question is someone asked if you're stones. So
there are questions on that video.
Okay.
But in the meantime, are there anyone in the live chat who has questioned any questions? What is the proper response? Like, if someone comments a question.
What is the proper response?
Yeah, like if someone comments a question, do they question a question? Or do they leave a question? Or do they remark a question?
They ask a question.
Yeah, but they can do that any time.
This is true.
Right.
Okay.
I'll let you take this.
Oh, that is actually... Here's a question, and this is one that's an interesting debate here.
Okay.
I'm assuming, I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong, 𝗙𝗧𝗋𝗃, like that. Anyways, they asked, because we brought up playable Zelda in the past, do we consider the gameplay weird tracks?
Hold on. Are you muted?
Am I muted? Should I be muted?
Yes.
I should be?
Maybe.
Wait, why should I be muted?
I'm gonna mute real quick. Okay. No, I can't mute.
Well, now you're muted, so I can't hear you.
Okay, I can't mute. But, I'll say... we cannot talk about any of the Disney stuff.
Disney? What Disney stuff?
Exactly.
I'm so confused.
Okay.
This is a question about Zelda, though, so I think that's fine. They asked, do we consider the gameplay of Spirit Tracks to truly be playable as Zelda? Because they
I understand this. Because we went along with a lot of the stuff that was like... Because a lot of people asked on the a lot of the other stuff. And they were like, hey, you said Zelda wasn't playable in this, but she is playable in the Spirit Tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of the other people said, hey, someone just texted me. I apologize. The other people said that, like, does it even matter if Zelda is playable along the lines of Spirit Tracks Zelda? Because a lot of people don't think about Zelda and Spirit Tracks as playable. They just think about Link's, although she was playable.
Right.
So what do you think about this, Daniel?
See, I think it is an interesting debate because the gameplay of Zelda in that game is limited and is different than when you're playing as Link. Like, you have to switch back and forth. It's only in certain areas, only in, like, the Tower of Spirits, when she possesses a phantom. And what it comes down to is it's more like, the argument people say, they'll say it doesn't count because it's more like directing her from point A to point B, and then she goes. But what is, to get deep here for a minute, how do we define what is a playable character in a game? Because in any game...
Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Did you play Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks?
Yes, I played both. Underrated. Good games.
Okay, did you, like, draw the line to, like, there was one dungeon where you had to, like, draw the line for the Goron to roll towards? Do you count that?
Yeah, it was the same idea. Well, I do. I'm not saying that I don't count Zelda as playable, because I do.
No,
I'm just saying that's the argument.
No. That was not Zelda.
I know. I'm saying, I know what you're saying. It's the same idea.
Okay.
They control the same way.
Okay. What about Majora's Mask, where you go through the top of
Saikon's hideout?
Saikon's hideout. And you can, like,
there's a big but.
No. I don't know if this counts, because you can, like, glitch your way through, and then
Okay, we're not talking about glitches though.
Okay, so, like, you can glitch your way through, and then Link can make his way through Saikon's hideout to, like, Saikon's hideout is through here.
Okay.
And then up above is the actual third day with the Romani's Ranch.
But we're just talking about no glitches, just regular gameplay. The cafe thing, I would say count, but it's a different comparison because you have, like, moment-to-moment control over the character. The argument people make about Zelda and Spirit Tracks not counting is because it comes down to directing from point A to point B, and that's basically it. But if you really break it down, think about this.
Yes.
In any game, what is a playable character? All it comes down to is actions and inputs. Everything in any game comes down to you as the player put in inputs, and then on screen an action happens. That's all any gameplay is, right? And what those inputs are and what those actions are vary between game to game. But the point is that anytime your playable character is always just you doing input, game doing action. So, in the case of Spirit Tracks, like the same way in Fire Emblem, you know, your player character is still your player character, even though you're just pointing on a grid and telling it where to go. It's still just, maybe it's a different input, and that input is you draw a line instead of holding the stylus on a screen or tilting a control stick. But they're still just inputs and actions. So I would say, if you think about it on that level, absolutely Zelda is playable in Spirit Tracks. Because you're just inputting something into the game, and you're getting the feedback of an action happening in the game, right? So,
yes,
I think there's an argument to be made for it not counting. But I think that if you really just boil it down to really like, you got to get into like the nitty gritty of, well, then what does count? Because then you could make an argument for nothing counting or everything counting, because you're not really Link in real life. So is Link ever a playable character? Well, of course he is, because you're controlling him. But in those instances of Spirit Tracks, you control Zelda, just not the same way that you control Link. So that's my standpoint on the playable Zelda thing. I also don't think that the sequel will make Zelda playable that way. So it like people arguing that, it seems like kind of a weird argument to take.
Yeah.
Still.
So can you hear me?
Still. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you...
Jesse.
Yes.
I think you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so maybe some people think that Zelda, because of the first trailer, I'm trying to not give too much away. Not that we know anything.
What is there to give away? We don't. It's just a trailer.
Exactly.
If it's in a trailer, it's fair game.
Exactly. That Zelda may or may not be playable because she falls into
a black hole. Do not forget about the roaring dragon. I think we should grab another question. I'm gonna dig for another question.
Yeah,
how many
maybe you're correct. Should we just like go to the Zelda mailbag?
That's what we're doing already.
Really?
Yes. Jesse, my man, I think you need some sleep. Maybe we should
Daniel, my man,
consider wrapping this up.
Maybe you should consider going another color other than blue.
What?
From 𝗵𝗏.
What? I don't even know what you said.
From
There's a lot of
𝗵𝗏.
spam. What about 𝗵𝗏? Are you talking about my blue chair? What's wrong with my blue chair?
Yeah, maybe they would send you in like a green or an orange chair if you weren't blue.
I don't know. I had to pay customs on this chair, and it was pretty hefty. So,
trust me.
they asked what color I want.
I know.
And I said blue, and I got blue.
I did as much as I could for as many people as I could to get everyone possible a free chair.
Grateful. I am very grateful for the chair. That was not a slight against you.
No.
I got the color I wanted, so blue is good. I don't see any other questions on that video, by the way.
Did you pay customs? Because I thought I paid customs, because I'm pretty sure $200 came from my bank account.
I think they double charged us. This was also like...
I mean, they probably did.
Years.
Hello, everyone. Ewan, Holly, if you're listening, please message whoever contacted us at that E3. Daniel says no. Just like, give us a cheese stick. Or like...
I still got a free chair. I can pay customs and get the chair for free. That's fine by me.
Give us like a pumpkin pie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
that's it, Holly. Pumpkin pie for all of us.
All right. Sounds good. Jesse,
Yes.
it's getting late.
Yes, it's very late. We should have ended an hour ago, but we started about an hour late. So anyone who is still listening, what is your question that you would like us to answer? We have twitter.com/GameOverJesse/ Hylian Gamescast / 𝗵𝗃 as well as Instagram, YouTube, everything. Honestly, everything. So, Daniel, starting with you.
Starting with me.
Yeah, starting with you / everything.
Oh, yeah. Everything is at 𝗵𝗃 𝗵𝗃. And I have a video coming out tomorrow. It's about Breath of the Wild dungeons.
Don't spoil it.
A dungeon. It's going to be good. Go check out my channel. There's a link in the description.
What time can people expect it?
About 9:15 a.m. Pacific time.
So does that mean it's already done, or you will complete it after the podcast?
No, it's done. It's done. It's scheduled.
It's done?
Yeah, it's done and
you
scheduled.
haven't showed me?
So I posted it in my Discord. You could have watched it anytime over the last week.
Everyone, if you are listening, this is urgent mission. This is an urgent mission. Daniel, where can people find your Patreon?
Oh, I mean, if they want to, patreon.com/𝗵𝗃. I'll also say that on my merch store, I'm having
to.
You know, if they thought my voice was awful.
Like if they were like, well, I could spend like $10 on a Subway sandwich for this, or I could spend $10 on a Subway sandwich for that.
Some people don't want to subscribe to various subscription services and pay a bunch of money.
Who are these horrible people you're talking about?
Human people. It happens. But no, I will say, important thing, I am having a summer sale on my Threadless, my merch store. It's Threadless, or it's 𝗵𝗃.threadless.com.
Are you really?
And everything is 30% off, except for t-shirts, which are actually more % off than that. All t-shirts are $14. All other merch is 30% off. It's good. So it's 𝗵𝗃.threadless.com. True story. You can get a Greg shirt.
Like Greg with the full deer horns?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I can just like end my Patreon supportage to you and just like support Greg?
Well, you should support yourself first, Jesse.
I mean, that's what everyone says.
That is. This is true. So, unless you really want a Greg shirt, then now's the time to get it because it's on sale. So, alright. Jesse,
okay, yes.
Your turn.
It doesn't matter, but my turn. Everything for me Everything for me is at GameOverJesse / GameOverJesse, Twitter, Patreon, YouTube, everything. It really does not matter. I imagine if you are already here supporting me, you already know about it. So I would just say support Daniel at 𝗵𝗃. No, I was going to say 𝗵𝗃.com, but I don't think that's an actual thing.
There is no. I used to have a website, and then I realized I was paying a lot of money for literally nothing.
Exactly.
So I stopped having one.
I would. So now I'm saying twitch.tv /.
Lappin'. No.
There's a difference. if you know HTML, slap is very different than slash. But please support /CaptBurgerson at twitch.tv or twitch.tv/CaptBurgerson. That's
Also,
the correct one?
YouTube's better though. But yes, either
Wait,
or
what?
both.
YouTube's better? YouTube takes like 50 to 60% of whatever you make.
So is Twitch.
I don't know. I probably still have like $100 that's owed to me from Twitch, but where I've never...
Twitch's discoverability is awful.
And Twitch broke my heart, so I'm just like, screw them. Daniel knows.
I know.
Um,
No, I'm probably moving away from Twitch soon. I've been saying that for like a year, but
I wouldn't say that. You might get like they might message you sometime soon to where they're like, "Hey, would you like to come out and do this Metroid Prime thing with us?" Not that Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out this year,
it's not gonna happen.
but exactly. But if they do, you may not want to be on record saying that.
Oops! Twitch has issues. So does YouTube. Oh well.
I would say Amazon
Everything's awful.
has issues, not Twitch.
I would say both, but Amazon has...
And Nintendo.
I don't shop at Amazon.
That broke
for
my heart.
reasons. I don't want to support them.
My heart, right
That's
here.
all.
This.
Anyways, heartbreak, love, laughter, and two men.
You're being too nice.
That's the story of tonight's podcast.
Daniel.
Yes.
Metroid Prime Double Dash. What are your thoughts?
Never.
Really? Like a two-player Metroid Prime game? Never?
I mean, we already had Federation Force, right?
The greatest Metroid Prime game to ever exist?
The greatest. No. I think they tried that experiment, and
Are you speaking of
and we
Federation
got
Force?
they tried that experiment. We got Federation Force, so I think let's keep Metroid a solo experience. I think.
Okay, so honestly, I don't even want to mention it because everyone who's asking probably already knows. But just to congeal the audience.
Congeal them.
Yeah, like a squid.
Yuck. Go on, though. Please continue.
Don't be rude to our audience. How dare you? No, so what are your thoughts on a new I feel sick just saying it. Nintendo Direct. Around the 29th.
Why are we retching about that? That doesn't seem...
Because I've gotten a lot of messages about it since our last podcast.
Right.
And I'm using my pinky to mute the microphone. So,
Okay.
please.
It could happen. It could
Metroid
happen.
Prime 4 Double Dash. That's
That's
like,
not good.
if you ever seen literally any of Game Explain's live streams, I've been in there and I've been like, what do you think about Metroid Prime 4 Double Dash? Just because, like, I like to be a troll.
Fair enough.
I know it's not
Fair
going to
play.
be anything related to Double Dash. I know it's not going to be anything related to multiplayer that they show off first. Like, they might have a secondary thing that they show off later on after the primary direct.
Primary.
Primary, where they show off like maybe this does have some sort of multiplayer stuff, but the primary thing, I know it's not going to be like anything related to Double Dash. That's just what I troll it. I troll game explain with.
Yeah.
Because of Mario Kart. Because like you're behind the character and you're throwing. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think not a lot of people in the chat get it.
I think they get it. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
No. I'm sure enough, though. Anyways.
If there were any Double Dash functions for Metroid Prime 4, or as also known as Metroid Prime 4 Double Dash, what influences or additive gameplay mechanics would you like to see?
I have no idea. I can't think of any right now, honestly. I think the gameplay of the Prime series is solid, and I just want more of that, honestly. As bad as that sounds, to just say more of the same. They have like very solid gameplay, mystery, stories, sort of that eerie, isolated atmosphere. I love that. So you don't get that with Double Dash. So
no,
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Can you hear me though?
Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say you are completely wrong. Metroid Prime 4 Double Dash is the next Metroid game we are going to get. Like, if you don't think Diddy Kong is going to be hopping on top of Samus's back to kill some Metroids, you already lost.
My bad.
It's okay. I understand. You don't know anything. You don't know anyone that works at Metroid Prime. You don't know anyone that works at Nintendo. So I understand why you would think none of this would happen.
That's correct.
Like the closest person we had who worked at Nintendo was Joe. And he works at Disney.
Right.
And we spoke for about an hour on Metroid.
Yeah, that was fun.
And that's the closest person we know who works at Nintendo, everyone who's listening. And all he had to say is like, maybe you can expect something if you go to Disneyland.
Yeah, a turtle. That's what you can expect. A turtle, Jesse. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting very sleepy. So.
Yeah, it's about
Jesse.
1 a.m. We usually wrap up about 12 a.m. So I'm an hour late. I was an hour late.
It's all good.
Daniel.
Life happens. Yes.
You don't need to remind me.
I don't even know what I'm reminding you about.
What has been going on with you? What games have you played this week?
We already did that part. We already talked about this.
Maybe I wasn't here for it.
I think you were. That's okay, Jesse.
I don't think I was. Maybe you were thinking about last week.
I remember saying that I was playing Horizon and also Resident Evil and also Shovel Knight and also Skyward Sword and also Breath of the Wild.
Was that when I went away?
No. You were here. It was part of the conversation. It's fine. Anyways.
Okay,
Jesse.
so Okay. Daniel.
Jesse.
There's a new Elvis Presley movie coming out this week.
Oh no, why?
So I don't know, because there's one every year. So in terms of that, I want to know, what can we expect from your newest dungeon design video?
Not swimming.
Okay, because I don't know if Elvis swim or not, so that's cool.
There you go. Water, but no swimming. That's the answer.
What dungeon and or design would this be attributed to?
No, the video is on 𝗏𝗏𝗏, which I feel, and I make a strong case for, I think, is intended to be the first divine beast.
Are you worried about anyone telling you how wrong you are?
No, because I say, you watch the video tomorrow morning and you'll see. I make a good case, I think. That's just me. So.
What time do you expect us to watch this?
We already did this part, Jesse. it's now time to sleep.
I don't think we did do this part.
I think we did do this part because I set all my handles.
No, it's
I said my video drops tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay. 9:15 Pacific.
Yes. So that would be 12 for you, I think. 12:15 for you. Noon 15 for your time zone, Jesse. Anyways, don't worry about it. You can go on my channel. The video is scheduled, so you can go set a reminder for when it premieres, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. You can chat in. You can be like, "Oh my gosh, your editing's so good because you made a map in Blender that took too many hours to make." Oh, yeah. Anyways,
yes, that's something
Jesse.
else. You've been making new intros and everything for your videos.
So many new things.
How long have you been working with Blender?
Like a month. Not long. Like a month, yeah.
And are these just for Breath of the Wild?
Well, I'll probably continue using it in the future, but for now, I wanted to use it just for Breath of the Wild. The reason being that they don't provide what I would call comprehensive dungeon maps like previous games do. They give you like
you
that
just
3D
finished
map.
Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
And you are doing live streams for Skyward Sword?
That's also true, yes.
Are you collecting data and or maps from your Skyward Sword experience on the live streams to do possibly an updated version of Skyward Sword dungeon designs for your YouTube channel? No?
Because I already did it with the HD version when I did Skyward Sword. True story. So,
give us a last question. Give us a behind the scenes. What do you, because I'm sure like Denny more than anyone else. Do you know Denny?
yeah, but he doesn't love me anymore.
Denny is a good person. He gives you like $10 million per month.
I wish. No. Anyways,
He gives you like 10 million rupees per month.
as long as it's not rupees, which take away money somehow.
Well,
Hey, what's your question?
Yes.
Last question.
Yeah. Okay. So my last question. I apologize, Daniel. We are going to answer 2 questions from the live chat after this. I've just been giving them time to ask their questions from the live chat. Anyway, yes. So, what are your plans after these 4 dungeons from Breath of the Wild?
I'm doing 6 from Breath of the Wild because there's a 4, then there's the DLC
Master Cycle Divine Beast, and then Hyrule Castle. And then I'm going back to Zelda 1 and doing all the 2D games.
Okay, can I ask you one final question from the live chat?
No question.
This is from me.
No, even the chat is telling us to go to bed, Jesse.
I know, this is from me.
Jesse! Quickly.
Where can everyone support you?
We already talked about this, Jesse.
No,
it's time to wrap this up.
we talked about the YouTube. YouTube.com/𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏.
We talked about it all.
Twitch.tv/𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏.
Jesse, we did. It's okay. It's time to go to sleep now. Thank you for hosting us, Jesse. You're lovely. I love you. Let's go ahead and say goodbye to all the lovely people who are still here somehow. And
I was trying to give a thank you to them.
Oh, I know.
No,
but they all want to get
it's my fault for starting late. Everyone, thank you. If you want to follow 𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏, Daniel himself, the sexy cheeseburger king of cheeseburgers, you can follow him at 𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏 or /𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏 with YouTube or Twitch or Patreon or is there anything else? Twitch.tv/Patreon.
All the links are in the description.
Yeah, all the links are in the description. Please follow Daniel at 𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏. Please follow Tubes at 𝗏𝗵𝗲. Please follow Geek at the Geek Apprentice. And please follow me at 𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏. And it was thank you for everything. I apologize for the lengthy podcast, but thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
For everyone to join, Daniel, when will the next time you start a podcast so everyone can be sure to look forward to it?
I have no plans to
within the next 4 days. Look forward to 𝗏𝗃𝗄𝗏.
No plans.
He's on the hunt for old Greg.
I'm already spread thin enough as it is.
Look forward to Daniel on the hunt for old Greg. Good night. We love you.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.